Micron stock took a huge hit after reporting earnings a few weeks ago, but luckily if you purchased after that dip, the overall stock is doing pretty well. On today's episode, what I want to do is take a closer look at some recent updates impacting the overall stocks that are bullish for the company. So let's get started. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for special offer at fool.com, and check out my free daily semiconductor newsletter, whatthechiphappened.com.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first, let's just take a quick look at overall stock price performance. Year to date, Micron is already doing amazing. It's only January 10th in forms of market closing, and the stock is up nearly 17%. Now, I have done a few videos on Micron Technology, more importantly after the earnings crash, and I mentioned that in the low 90s this was a stock that was very attractive. Now we're getting a little bit more bullish sentiments for the stocks, and especially with a recent CES event. But first I want to take a closer look at one thing that I believe is very crucial for Micron in forms of potential growth opportunities, and that is TSMC recently reported their December 2024 revenue numbers. And for those that are not familiar, TSMC, they are the largest manufacturers of chips. And the reason this is crucial for Micron, in my opinion, is TSMC reported a nice year-over-year increase for the month of December. And this gives me validation that the consumer electronic market might be starting to pick back up. Because remember, when companies build chips like TSMC, those chips don't become finished products for some times. And those finished products at the end of the day are going to need some form of memory equipped with it, either being a laptop, being a cell phone, being a TV, the list goes on and on. So if TSMC is seeing some nice growth in their manufacturing capabilities for logic chips, then I think that bodes well for Micron Technology. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing I thought was pretty impressive is we just are done with CES, which is this consumer electronic shows, and we did get a lot of new product announcements. I mean, we got products from NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA announced their new graphics cards for the consumer market. They announced a new form of computer, their Project Digits. They announced new laptops with the upcoming next generation consumer GPUs. We got very similar updates from like AMD and Intel. And I personally, as a consumer, last year was not that excited about any of the new products, but for some reason my excitement for consumer products this year has gotten a lot higher, and I am more likely to upgrade my overall computer, my overall laptop, my overall graphics card. And I believe most of the market might be in the similar feeling that can obviously bode well for more memory needs. I mean, the new graphics cards, the new computers, the laptops that we're seeing are seeing an increasement of overall memory per device, which obviously bodes well for Micron. So during CES, Micron announced various solutions from new SSDs to new gaming memories for the desktop market, right? And a lot of other solutions for the overall space. So Micron continues to innovate in the consumer market, which is their biggest opportunity. Remember, Micron in the last quarter mentioned that the consumer market is still slower than previously expected. I believe maybe this upcoming quarter is still going to be a little bit weak, but as we get closer to the summertime, I think we're going to start to see a pickup in consumer electronics, which will bode well for Micron Technology and Micron investors. Now, the next thing I want to take a closer look for Micron, and this is probably one of my favorite recent updates, is on January 8th, so just 3 days ago, Micron mentions that they break ground on their new HBM advanced packaging facility in Singapore. And for those that are not familiar, HBM is the special type of memory that goes on AI chips, right? And I believe this is HBM right now. As long as companies continue to innovate, as long as Micron continues to innovate, this could be a massive tailwind. And remember, Micron is the second provider of NVIDIA for HBM memory. The first is SK Hynix. The second and only user right now is Micron. Normally there is a third player player in this space, and that's Samsung. And at the moment, it's only a two-player race, which obviously bodes well for Micron Technology, like I mentioned, as long as they continue to innovate. So this new HBM advanced facility will be the first facility of its kind in Singapore. Operations for the new facility are scheduled to begin in 2026, with meaningful expansion of Micron's total advanced packaging capacity beginning in calendar of 2027 to meet the demand of AI growth. So first, obviously, that's in my opinion bullish for the AI market. Micron is building capacity expansions not only for the upcoming years, but all the way up to 2027, because they continue to see a nice steady pace in the AI market. And remember, it's not just an NVIDIA market. All these big tech players, as they're designing their own AI chips, as they're building their own kind of AI solutions, they're gonna need HBM solution to incorporate into those chips. So this is definitely a nice growth opportunity for Micron. Micron also mentions that this manufacturing in the long term is also going to have the ability to shift into NAND production, which is another type of memory solution. HBM is DRAM, NAND is used for other kind of memory solutions. And in the memory market, you have to be very, very careful and flexible with aligning with the market demand, being HBM, being NAND, being DRAM. So this facility is going to be able to be flexible in that aspect, which I think will bode well for the overall company. Now, I was talking about HBM, right, and how it's only a two-player race right now with SK Hynix and Micron. In a recent report, we are hearing that Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, mentioned that Samsung requires a new design for its HBM to pass NVIDIA's qualification. So for this, it's telling us that Samsung is still lagging in this space. Micron, this gives them the opportunity to grab more market share and to be a nice, reputable provider of HBM solutions. So as long as Samsung continues to lose in this market, it's going to continue to bode well for Micron and SK players. So I think this is going to continue. As long as Micron continues to innovate, the stock will do good. But unfortunately, that's a lot of pressure, right? If this market becomes commoditized in the HBM space, then that can cause some negative price action for Micron. But the only way that market can become more of a commodity space is if innovation slows down or if AI spending kind of sees a decrease as well. And at the moment, I don't see either happening, but those are always risk for Micron Technologies. Now, in forms of PE ratio, the stock is trading at very cheap valuations. Now, this is good if you expect the memory market to continue to grow. And I believe the memory market has still not hit its peak, right? We still need to see the tailwind in the consumer space, in the PC market, in the laptop market, in the cell phone market. We still have to have that tailwind from the automotive market. And all these solutions, in my opinion, could push Micron Technology to even more and more revenue, even more and more free cash flow, and seeing an improvement of gross profit margins. But as an investor, you're definitely going to want to keep a closer eye on that free cash flow and gross profit margins, as this company is kind of spending a lot of money in capital expenditures. So you don't want it to be too much, because then that can create some friction for investors in forms of financial strength. So that's all I have here for Micron Technology at the moment. It does seem like we continue to get this nice bullish sentiment for the overall market, for the overall stock. There's a lot of tailwinds in this space right now, but there's also some things that you need to keep a closer eye on. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.